put this on episode 25, in which we watch Ice Lake Rebels, season 1, episode 1.
Sound unsure about that one.
Maybe. I'm the host, Chris Lorenz, and sitting to my right,
Harrison Hoffman.
sitting to my left,
James Rawl.
and we have a new special guest host. Would you want to introduce yourself?
Jose Contreras, and I may need subtitles.
Yeah, so this show, not terrible.
Would you like me?
That was a real curveball.
I was kind of surprised.
I did not think that was you're going to be your stance on that at all.
No, I thought it was enjoyable. You want to go over the description of the show, Harrison?
I can read the description. The freeze and thaw periods are the two most deadly times of year on Great Slave Lake among Canada's Northwest Territories. This series follows a handful of survivalists as they hunt for food, drill for water, trade for necessities, and protect their turf. It's a lawless frozen lake of ultra-libertarians forced together during brutal winters. Ice Lake Rebels on Animal Planet.
These people are real crazy.
Why is this show on Animal Planet?
It's a great question.
There
was one dog.
There was one dog.
There was some hunting.
Yeah, there was some hunting. That definitely should be on Animal Planet, right?
I don't think that hunting's on Animal Planet.
There's a lot of fishing, right?
Not on this episode.
No, I meant in general on Animal Planet. Is there fishing?
It's like Shark Week and shit. You know, it's like
yeah, it's more about like seeing animals in their habitat, I think,
Yeah, but if
and like puppy bowls.
I do like the Puppy Bowl. That's probably the only time I really watch Animal Planet.
but the best one is a kitty halftime.
Oh,
There
You
is
know
kitty halftime. Aren't they the cheerleaders too? That they're like kitty cheerleaders.
yeah, the cats are the cheerleaders.
I'm afraid to say that I know this for a fact.
oh man.
I mean, sometimes you just gotta swap over.
So why are the cats cheerleaders?
I don't know.
Like I feel like the
don't-
cats don't like the dogs.
But isn't this like a chauvinist remark? Like maybe it's because they're pussies.
Oh man, that's a whole other
Oh,
I
man.
didn't even think about.
Really?
I think that's why.
Yeah. There you
Jeez,
go. Okay,
okay.
makes more sense now. Got it.
You're opening our eyes here.
I'm just bringing some consensus into the discussion. That's all.
Oh,
I mean, there was that one Super Bowl that was real bad when like it was like 40 to like 6. Like there's times with Super Bowls you just
The Seahawks one?
there's that
Yeah.
one.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the score of the Puppy Bowl. I'm like, there's a score?
There is a score for the Puppy Bowl.
Really?
though.
No, there's not.
Yeah, there
Yeah, there is.
Oh, God. It's ridiculous. Is it not like fans' votes or something?
No.
It's like actual score?
No, they have when the dog takes the ball over the score line, they score.
I actually think you have to like tweet. Like your
That's
vote
tweet.
to the- yeah, it's like
Every time you tweet like enough tweets, they throw another ball into the arena.
and there's like an MVP at the end of the fucking thing. Like it's like, oh yeah, which one was the best one? The cock, the Spaniard or the German Shepherd. Like who gives a damn?
Which one was the cutest?
So I'll be honest, I've never seen more than about 5 seconds of the Puppy Bowl. Mostly because I'm watching football.
And mostly because Chris puts it on.
I mean, I may put it on.
That's
Chris does put
usually
it on.
That's because you don't have a family. That's because you don't have any children.
It's true.
It's like, oh, game day, puppy ball. That's what you do.
So is that like all the hype? Is it like the same like lead
Yeah.
up to it?
It's like, and actually, I go ahead and DVR this thing. So it's like 4 hours of puppies and kitties, and I get to watch that for probably 6 months after that,
Oh, so you're just like running it all the time.
all the time.
The
Oh, wow.
Puppy Bowl is 4 hours long. I just thought it was like a halftime thing.
No.
It's
no,
the
no,
full
no,
length
this
of the
is-
game.
This is it. This is a whole thing.
Oh my
And
god!
there's a whole industry behind this. It's not only the the puppies and kitties and all that stuff. It's like the shit that goes along with it, and everything that you can sell.
That sounds like a nightmare. 4 hours of the Puppy Bowl.
Welcome to my life.
Oh my god!
So is that like the kind of thing you DVR it and like you're on like a road trip, you just pop that on for the kids and you're just like all happy and quiet and shit.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Yes, those are the sacrifices you have to make.
Oh man.
But at the end of the day, when you see them smile and they're like happy looking at these things, you're like, oh my god, thank God for Puppy Bowl. Like, thank you, Obama, for
the only good
allowing
thing to
us
come out of Puppy
in
Bowl.
America to get Puppy Bowls and kitty halftime. Okay.
Yeah. So of other weird shit on Animal Planet, that's about like, at least that has animals. I don't even know where this show, how it got really
It's got a
picked
dog.
up.
It's got a.
There was one dog for like a second. It had to pee.
Well,
So they had to canoe the dog from the houseboat over to land.
So
let it pee and then
the show
bring it
is
back.
super cheap to make, so you just make it.
That's true. Yeah.
Like this show costs like some propane tanks. Like that's how the show got made. It's like, hey, I'll give you some propane. Just let me film you for like a couple weeks here, and like that's it.
So the houseboaters are not really getting paid very much, but I feel like to hire the crew that's willing to put up with that shit like must be kind of expensive, right?
I mean,
But there's
I-
crews that
no,
do
I
all
doubt
this stuff.
it.
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
You have crews that are doing deadliest catch and shit.
I guess
Well,
that's true.
Far more
That-
scary
that's
than
worse.
this.
Yeah,
you
that's
know
worse.
the way you do this is you go to like Canada's like upper like shitty state university, and you're like, okay, film school students, you want a free internship in the in the Arctic. Here you go. So they send them there. I mean, all they have to do is just press the rec button and just point at something that moves, right?
You give them a quick pointer, like a quick class.
Exactly.
Here's how you hold a camera.
Yeah.
Good
I
luck.
mean, I will say production was decent for
Yeah.
like the show that it was.
it was pretty good. Like
Yeah.
there were some good looking shots. Yeah.
I don't know if I'd go that far. There's a
No,
lot.
It was a
there's-
decent production.
Let me tell you this: like you know what kept us engaged was just the soundtrack, because all that music and all that tension it was just building up, and you were just like, oh my god, what's gonna happen next? And you knew what was gonna happen next. Nothing.
Whoa! Some people left. Like something did actually
Yeah.
happen in the show. Which
Spoiler.
is,
Spoiler.
Like somebody,
Come on, Chris.
somebody went like knee deep in freezing water, and holy shit, got abandoned ship, right? I mean, come on.
Yeah, so there was like a young couple who they're just out of college, and they decided they wanted to try out this houseboat thing for a winter, and they were totally ill-equipped for it. So they showed up, and about 2 days later, one of them fell in the water, like just their leg, and they were freaked out, and they left, like before even the winter started or anything.
how do you think that she did it on purpose
No,
to get them to leave? I
don't-
feel like
I don't
that.
think
that
so.
We don't know that girl.
I mean, I don't know it, but
We don't know she
her,
could
but
be conniving like that.
She didn't seem very conniving.
You don't know though.
I mean, if anything, she was more desperate than conniving.
I mean, she desperately wanted to leave that fucking boat, so she was like, "Oops, I fell in."
But like the thing that prevents me from believing that is she was pretty into it, giving it a shot at least. You
To
know,
the cameras.
just the way that it was portrayed, it wasn't. You didn't get the vibe that she did not want to be there at all. She's like, okay,
I got the vibe that she didn't really want to be there.
Let me
Sure.
ask you. I just wanna, was I the only one expecting some sexy time out of this show?
I definitely was expecting them to like start cuddling at the end.
Not at all. This is
Like-
Animal Planet, guys.
Well, dude,
Exactly.
dude, animals are banging constantly on the Animal Planet.
Sure,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
There's a song that has that line.
that's how. Yeah, that's Discovery Channel, I think.
Oh damn
but
it!
It's close. It's close.
So close.
But yeah, maybe that's why this is on Animal Planet, because maybe once the winter sets in, there's a lot of banging.
There ain't nothing else to do, I guess.
Yeah,
I mean, right
sure.
now there's a lot of stuff to do.
There's
It's
a
like-
lot of prep.
This is probably the most work they do all
Yeah.
year.
Yeah. So
It's like pulling, like canoeing stuff to their boat.
That
and
one
make sure
guy-
it's level.
That one guy was working his ass off when his houseboat was sinking. So this one guy in the show, his houseboat, something happens and the wake gets off and one of the pontoons fills up with water and starts to tip over and sink. And this guy's in the freezing water and working his ass off to try and right this house, and it looked like a disaster.
Yeah, it was
Oh.
definitely a disaster. The guy was like, let me jump in here with my red thing, and he's like, I can only be in here for 5 minutes and before he just freezes.
No, but what I loved the most was how it just defeated the purpose. It's like, let me put my dry suit that has holes in it. Let me repeat. Dry suits are supposed to keep you dry.
Yeah, he's just in the water, just going, "There's so many holes in this thing." You didn't know that from the last time you were in the water.
I wonder if that was true. I feel like if you had a dry suit and the water is literally 30 degrees, you would not be able to be in that water with a dry suit with holes in it.
So I definitely feel like that guy was kind of playing up everything. He was very dramatic. He was playing up everything a lot.
that guy was great.
Yeah.
I mean, he really made the show. Without that guy, there's not enough content here.
I agree.
For sure.
There's no show without
He
him.
was half the content too.
Yeah, everyone else is kind of too boring. Well,
Yeah.
at least in this episode. Maybe they get more interesting later.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I just love that everything was just you know what? We get a breeze and the boat goes boom. We get a wave, and the goat just goes fucking bananas. He's like, everything was just like nothing. Whatever would happen. He's like, we got a full moon. The boat's gonna sink.
Gotta watch out for those moons.
So, can somebody explain, like, the mindset behind wanting to live in this hospital? Because it's kind of set up as like, hey, these people are doing it because they want to be away from the rules and laws of society, and it's just like, I guess I don't understand. Like, can someone?
No,
So
I can't help you.
I think it's part they don't want to pay standard society taxes and the normal laws.
Okay, well, these people aren't making money anyway. But,
Yeah. Shake for a second.
Sure.
For a second. The other piece of it, I think, is surviving and living off of the land. Like, there's a lot of people that have that ambition.
What
But-
land is a fucking lake?
It's the land, the
The
wilderness.
land.
the
But
land. All
there,
of it.
there are lots of other places where you can live off the land.
Yeah,
in a less dangerous way.
like on that island.
Exactly, yeah.
That was a pretty small island in the middle of the lake, but nonetheless. But yeah, I think that's all it is. It's just they said this whole lake there's only like 30 houseboats. It's not like a shit ton of people doing it.
I feel like that's a whole society right there. Like 30 houseboats.
Yeah,
That's
well,
like
they later go on in the episode to state that they have their own rules and regulations.
Which is like, they moved out there to get away from that, but the community has their own rules. Like,
totally.
But, I just love that most of these people just pretty much just fall under the poverty level, right? Like it's just,
For sure, definitely.
And so they're complaining, "Oh yeah, we won. We were not paying taxes." Like, no, motherfucker, like you would not. Like, here's some food stamps. Like you're fucking poor.
Well, they don't want
Let me help
handouts.
you, all right?
Yeah, they just want to live and just provide for themselves. That's like the whole appeal.
It's
I
just-
think that's the only thing I can
So
justify
do-
behind it for them.
do you think the people on the show would be buds with the people from that Doomsday Prepper show that we watched?
Oh, totally.
Like, it seems like a very similar kind of
It's the
mindset.
whole survivor.
No, that's some deep shit though.
Doomsday Preppers?
Damn right.
Yeah.
Because you know
was-
it's happening, right?
Oh
Yeah,
man,
sure.
so are you a doomsday prepper?
I am.
Oh, what is your doomsday prep?
Just guns and spam.
Guns and spam.
Okay, what are you like prepping for? Like zombie apocalypse, massive earthquake, volcano, flood.
If it came down to it, I think it's just gonna be like a titty apocalypse.
Okay.
Just not enough titties,
It's not.
and people are just gonna go fucking bananas.
How does that
I
happen?
don't know. I don't know. I don't know where to go with this one.
I mean,
I don't know. I'm not a loss now.
I'll give you a score of 7 for that.
it's fucking Seattle. I mean, come on.
It's true.
I mean, it already started happening.
So let me get this straight. So your plan when there's a shortage, you're just gonna start going around with your spamming guns and being like, "What it is?"
What a titties at?
Show me them titties.
I just want to make sure that I'm capturing this
Yeah.
correctly. Okay. I
Well, people are
don't
gonna,
know that we can give you a fair assessment on that.
People are gonna freak out because
What's his survival score?
I don't know that it's very good.
It's 7. I gave him a 7.
That's high, man.
But he hasn't solved the problem.
Sure, he did. He's got a gun.
what is
That's all you need.
It solves all the problems. You got a gun and you get some food, and you get to kill all the other people, and that's your food.
Nobody said anything about killing.
But I thought the problem was there was a lack of girls. I'm going to simplify this down and make it a little more.
Yeah, well, you kill all the guys, so there's more girls.
No, but there was no girls.
He said lack of titties, he didn't say no titties.
So you're just going
Exactly.
to wipe out the male population.
Well, no, you guys are going like. I mean, we're going in a dark road.
Yeah, no,
I
this
don't know
is,
what you're getting the guns for.
to protect the spam. I mean,
Okay.
you have to protect the spam. I mean, the fact that we don't have titties is just why society collapsed in the first place. But you gotta eat.
So you think so the prep is for actually like society is a full on collapse, falls apart,
I
nothing
mean,
around.
come on, like let's level here. Like, I mean, this is just we're on a theme thread here. Tits go out the window, and man, like we're fucking on our own. And you know this.
All right. So when somebody said houseboats for this show, I
You're
was
just
like,
gonna try to whip that one back in there.
I was like picturing normal houseboats, but these are not normal houseboats at all. These are literally houses built on pontoons
Yo,
Yeah.
to float in this
Yeah.
in this river. Like,
so we're in a city where there happens to be houseboats.
Yeah.
And my understanding is that there's two different things. There's houseboats and there's floating homes. Floating homes are ones that, like, don't have engines and they're kind of like on pontoons like these. And then there's houseboats, which is like a boat which you can live on.
Okay,
That's my understanding.
So does houseboat mean that you're mobile? Like you can
yeah,
drive
so
the
houseboat
boat.
means that like it's a boat like with an engine and stuff that's
That
a
makes
house.
sense. And by definition, a floating house is just like
Flo-
it's a house
floating
structure
home
that's on floats.
Exactly.
It's floating.
That's my I'm not 100% on that one. That's my understanding
That
though.
makes intuitive sense.
Yeah.
But I could see that going.
But like I think that people call floating homes houseboats also. And it's just
I've
confusing.
never heard anybody call it.
I feel like these houses wouldn't last very long. Like they're in the extreme elements all the time, and they're made of like plywood. So like these houseboats aren't going to last forever.
It must be so cold there all the time in those houses.
Yeah.
Like they're on water and it's like 40 below and they have like a small wood stove. Like it must be terrible, right?
So, okay, with that in mind, like, what kind of people get into this shit? Like, what's the profile here?
Crazy people.
No, because these things are not cheap. The houseboats are not cheap.
Well, how much do you think these houseboats cost? I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, that toilet, the Cadillac of toilets, was $2,000 to get everything shipped there.
Yeah, just for the toilet, yeah.
Well, I mean, granted, that was a fancy toilet.
It was the Cadillac.
For the situation.
For the situation.
For the situation, it was a
I
fancy
mean,
toilet.
There was no bidet.
No.
So once we saw the toilet for those two girls who were attempting to
Right.
do this, then it looked fancy, right?
You know,
You mean
I
the
just-
bucket?
Yeah, the bucket,
I
yeah.
just, when I think houseboats, I just, let me put I'm going to put a persona on this. I think this is just like some young guy or some young girl that works at Amazon. It's like a program manager. And I'm like, I'm going to go get on with my day and then go back to my houseboat because I can fucking afford this. Is that the profile? Like, am I right with this? Am I going the right direction?
I mean, if you're in Seattle, I feel like a houseboat, that might be your right profile for a houseboat here. But a houseboat near the Arctic Circle,
Yeah. No.
I got nothing. I don't know. Just people that live in the Northwest that are crazy.
I mean,
Well,
they're
I don't know
all
about
like
the entire Northwest, but
I mean, they're all like
Oh, come on.
survivalist kind of people, right? That's what
Yeah.
it seems like. Or like out of necessity because you kind of have to be to live there like that.
Yeah, but where do you think all these people came from, like, places near where this lake is? Like, I don't
Everyone
see
on the
people
show
from
was.
Florida being like, I want to be a survivalist. I'm going to go live off the land in the middle of the Arctic.
I don't know. I probably... I don't think that... They probably have, like, shittier lives before that. So I think the houseboat is kind of like an improvement. And it's like, it's an adventure. And these are people that really need that fucking, like, sense of, like, chaos, like, all the time. That's the only reason why you would do this.
For like some of them, they kind of seem like they're kind of social outcasts who didn't really fit in, and like they're kind of doing this as like I'm kind of weird. I'm gonna go do this thing. Like that's sort of what it seems like.
there's a lot of these examples though. If you look across anything, like one example that jumps to mind is doing the Appalachian hike, which takes months, right? And you start at wherever in Georgia, and you hike the whole Appalachian to Maine, which several months. People break legs, arms, all kind of thing. Most people don't make it. Majority of people don't make it, but like it's the pursuit of the adventure and the thrill of like accomplishing something that's difficult. Same reason people hike like Everest, right? Doesn't make any sense. Like, what are you gonna do when you get up there? It's
So-
not like, oh man, I'm just
so-
gonna hang out now.
so-
Well, that was a accomplishment.
So that's totally the mindset of those two girls who were trying to do it. I think
Right.
they're like, hey, this is a challenge, it's something crazy we want to do. We're gonna do it.
It's something that people tell you like, hey, you can't
Yeah,
do this.
but I don't think that a lot of those people are like that. I think that a lot of those
Right.
people that's just like, this is where I live all year because I'm a weirdo. I don't know, like.
Right, so I think there's a mix of people. Right back to the question at hand. I think there's a mix. So there's some people that are doing it for like the adventure and accomplishment of something difficult because it's sure as shit real hard.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then I think there's a batch of the crazies, which just I don't know, want to survive or what have you. And then there's the other bucket, which I don't know what it is yet.
But it's there.
There's something I don't know what it is.
I feel like some people may have been born into it, and then there's like that's.
You mean like those 6 kids that are living on that houseboat with their parents?
God.
Are you sure they're in that house?
How irresponsible do you have to be
Yes.
to be living with your 6-kid family on that houseboat? That is insane.
I
Well,
feel
as
like
discussed, what else are you doing in the winter?
What do you mean?
You're pumping out the babies.
Sure, yeah.
What else do you think's happening on that house?
Let me
Sure.
tell you, like, as a father of 2, I'm like, my God, I can't make enough money. like I'm just trying to figure out ways of like, how do I make more money so they have a better life? So when you see like 6 kids like living in a shithole like that, it's like, okay, come on, motherfucker. Like,
He's got to get that moose.
Yeah, they're just trying to get like another piece of meat so that like the kids can all eat.
it's like let's just let's just go out and hunt raccoons and shit so we can feed our kids. I mean, that's insane. Who does this?
Well, yeah, I don't know. But when they get old enough, they can go help get the
Yeah.
raccoons.
Do you think there was a raccoon in the bar?
There's a raccoon in the bar.
The houseboat.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
God.
I think there's probably a real shortage of raccoons. I think raccoons don't go that far cold, right?
I don't know where raccoons
I don't
live.
know the profile of the habitat of a raccoon. A bar is apparently one of them, though.
When
It's wherever John Taffer is. That's where the raccoons are.
yeah, they're attracted to John Taffer.
That's true.
I mean, like when I used to live in Chicago, we had raccoons that would dig through our trash. It's not as far north as this lake, but
I
I
mean,
know.
Chicago
This
gets
lake
pretty
is
cold.
definitely-
This lake's definitely further north.
Have you
Oh,
ever
yeah.
fought a raccoon?
I have never fought a raccoon.
They do not.
Have you fought a raccoon?
I thought about it.
You thought about
Oh,
it?
man.
If you were to fight a raccoon, what would your strategy be?
I don't know. Because like they have no fear. Like you look at the little eyes and they're like, "Bring it on, motherfucker! Like this is gonna go down, and this ain't gonna be good for you."
Yeah.
That's the mentality. Like you look at them and you're like, "Holy shit! This little guy is gonna commit." So I don't know.
I think the strategy is a tetanus shot.
Yeah, that's a good preventative measure.
It's a good strategy. for me.
Probably rabies shot. is
Yeah,
what I would
rabies.
do.
Rabies
most
yeah.
likely.
Yeah, you know, you got to be prepared.
You just
be-
get all the shots.
Yeah, just in case that raccoon's carrying like a rusty piece of metal and stabs you with it. Then you get that tetanus shot.
I mean, where you're fighting this raccoon in the middle of Chicago, you probably need a tetanus shot.
sure.
Yeah, he probably has a gun.
That's a terrifying thought.
Oh, man. Now I'm just picturing the Bambi trailer with the raccoon holding 2 pistols.
Yeah.
That's all I'm
Oh,
thinking.
you guys watch that?
Oh, yeah.
it was
The
so
SNL
good.
thing, yeah.
Oh, man.
That was pretty
Always be thumping.
That's right. It'll always be something.
Oh man.
So, yeah. Would you
We can't,
ever...
yeah, I can't get back on the Fast 7 train.
No,
we
it's
can't
true.
get
Okay,
back on
we've
that
gone
again.
down that. So what would you ever even consider doing a winter on this houseboat? What would it take?
Nope.
What would it take to get you to do it?
Money, lots of it.
Yeah.
No.
Just no?
money. Like, just booze and bacon.
So all you're telling me all it would take to get you on this houseboat for a winter is some alcohol and some bacon.
Yeah, fuck it. Why not?
I think we could.
Yeah.
I think we could fund this.
Maybe, yeah.
and you can like report into us.
Can we film it? We got to film it.
Yeah, we'll give you a camera, some
Sure.
bacon, and some alcohol.
We'll Utopia it. We'll stream it.
Well, I mean, I'm not going there.
the description of the show kind of reminds me of Utopia. It's like they have this community that's like outside of like the rules of society kind
That's
of thing.
true.
Like,
They were in the same meeting, I feel.
yeah.
And
I
the first
like
order of
that.
business: let's establish some new rules for society.
Except
Oh,
they weren't
Jesus.
given $5,000 to buy random shit.
That's true. That's true.
You see, the problem with that kind of people is that when they smile for a little bit too long. It's like you and I smile, and it's like 3-4 seconds long, and it's like okay, it doesn't get awkward. But these people smile and their eyes get big, and you're like, shit, like you need to stop smiling now. It's freaking me out.
Yeah, there's something wrong with this guy.
Well,
All
that
of
one
these
guy was
people.
pretty good. He's like, I know my kind of crazy. Do you? It's like, oh, man.
I feel like they brought that clip up like multiple times.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know. This is an odd show.
Yeah, I don't know that I really want to watch more of it, but it was okay.
It's just, I don't know. So, another question. Do you think the show is real at all?
Yeah, I think, it's real in that I believe that these people live on this lake for the winter.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they kind of play up and dramatize some of the situations maybe, but it feels like it's reasonably real.
Sure. So you think that one where it was sideways, like, hey, they're talking to that guy, like, what normally goes wrong in the winter? Like, what kind of scenarios can we film?
Yeah,
It's
just like,
oh,
hey,
well, this
like
one time.
like, hey, like maybe show like your house not being level or tipping over, and like how do you fix it? Like maybe they set that kind of stuff up, but yeah, overall it seems like fairly real.
I feel like these people are real. Like they're not. They didn't pay actors. Well, except for maybe the lesbians. That it's
I feel
questionable.
like they were thrown in. For
I
sure.
feel like they weren't that real, but like all the other people, like seemed like they were real. You know, the houseboat thing tipping over may or may not.
I don't. But I think they're real, but I don't buy the tipping because, like, if you've been there for like I don't know how many years, you kind of know that you don't put all the weight in one corner, right? I mean,
Right, and he's
how
like,
dumb can you be?
yeah, he's like, oh, I remember, it's all those heavy back pellets I put on the roof on one side of the boat.
Yeah, those like right where it's tipping. Well, they tried to play it as like that rope wasn't taut anymore. When they're like, oh wait, these pellets. I'm like, raise an eyebrow to that. That's pretty questionable.
Yeah, the problem I had with that one too, that also seemed like their most experienced guy on the show,
No,
right?
he's
No?
just the most exciting.
really
Like he's just the craziest guy
That's true.
that will talk to them. There's like the Indian guy that was there, or the not Indian, but the guy that's native he's from like the natives. Like he's
What do you
way
mean?
more.
What do you mean by I know?
I didn't say I said the natives from that land. The natives.
yeah.
What is that supposed to mean?
I felt like the other people that were more native just weren't talking to the cameras and weren't as exciting. Like that guy was the most exciting. He was like half the show.
Sure.
At least the first episode. I don't know.
Yeah. I'd be kind of curious. So I sort of stumbled upon the show, and I think it was the same episode. Only saw like maybe 15 minutes of it, and I'm just curious how like varying the other episodes are. Which is sort of the problem. But I kind of agree that I'm not going out of my way to really find it.
It's weird because it seems like the point in time that this episode takes place in, it's the freeze up, where it's kind of that in between point where like you can get a canoe through the water, and someplace you can walk on it, but you can kind of fall into it, so it's really dangerous, and there's kind of a lot of stuff to do. So like there's a lot of activity right now. Once you're in like the heart of winter in this show, and ice is totally frozen, you're just chilling. Like, I wonder what the content of the show is, because people are just sitting around at that point. Like, is it just all these people get together and just get really drunk and have insane parties, or like I don't know what happens.
I'd watch that. That'd be fun.
Yeah, so maybe that's and maybe the biggest problem is like, oh, you know what? We run out of condoms, so we gotta like do something about that.
That's what I was wondering. How many condoms those people stored for the winter? Are they? I feel like they're too broke to be afford that many condoms.
That's why they have 6 kids.
Well, the one person, those other people have a dog though, and no kids.
So
So you think the dog is involved in this?
Yeah.
some kind of three-way with the dog.
No.
Is that what you're talking about?
No.
Okay.
I mean, you never know. This is a wilderness, so we gotta be one with.
Hey,
nature.
no laws. There's no laws.
That's
Chris.
why it's on Animal Planet.
There's no laws except the ones that those 30 people on that lake decided were going to be laws for themselves.
So I think that we found out why these people wanted to live on the lake outside the laws. They want to be able to have sex with their dog.
Oh god.
Or the moose. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
Having sex with a moose seems real dangerous. Like that seems so
But
dangerous.
let me remind you, they're rebels. Okay.
They are rebels.
I don't
that
think
would
that moose
be
is going to like you doing that to it.
No, it would not.
It's probably going to kill you.
There's a good chance you're going to get hurt if you're trying to have sex with a moose.
I feel like there's like it should be a disclaimer like do not have sex with moose. Like the podcast does not condone having sex with moose.
Nor we promote.
Send us the video.
No moose were harmed in the making of this podcast.
Oh God.
well, in the next up on this, there was like somebody like gets lost and there's no 911, so they have to like go send a search party. So if we're coming into question what happens in this episode, I have to come into question if that would actually happen. Like
Somebody bangs a moose. Okay.
yes, obviously. I mean, like somebody getting lost.
Yeah.
During the show.
Oh, I'm sure getting. Well, I don't know about during the show, but I'm sure like in this world where this is a thing that's happening, I'm sure people get lost all the time. Like
Why?
dude falls
Like,
in the lake. That's
but
it.
if you
never
get
see that guy
lost,
again.
you're just not going to be there for.
Like where the hell's
So
Bob? I
this
haven't
is
seen Bob in, like,
this
3
is
months.
Darwinism at its finest. Like you get lost, you're just not going to be there. Like so, I feel like all these people won't get lost because if you get lost, you're fucking dead.
Right.
Well, correct. But you see, if they get like blaze in the cold winter. It's just like it's fucking crazy. And they go outside to take a piss, and you just go through the ice. That's it, gone.
Yeah, I could see that
that's the end
happening
of
Right.
more than somebody getting lost.
No, I'm saying like
Well, you can get lost.
like anything. Like you out hunting or whatever. The guy was sleeping next to a fire.
Yeah,
that fire goes out in the middle of the night.
He
he
knows the
just-
skills to get back.
I,
Right?
I don't know. He freezes to death in the middle of the night. There's an ice storm that comes through. I don't know.
I mean,
I'm just saying. I bet you there are people that die every winter just because they've wandered off into the woods and that's it.
Yeah, I'm sure, or fell in the ice, or
Yeah.
I'm sure that somebody from that community dies like every year.
Yeah.
Yeah, you take the wrong the wrong turn, and all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, I'm like maybe one more extra hour away from home, and that's all it takes to die.
Yeah.
Because it's just like I can only survive out here with what I got, like 3-4 hours.
Yeah, because it's like negative 30 degrees.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you get a quick storm or whatnot. It's like, oh shit.
well, that's
Game
why you
over.
just shoot a moose, and then you have food all winter, and you don't have to go anywhere.
Actually, so did you get to like maybe shoot a moose and like go like Luke Skywalker, like cut it up and just get inside of it?
Yeah.
I mean, that would
do
last
that
for a little.
No, you last a while. No,
You wouldn't last the winter
no
in
I
a
mean,
in a.
No, but you can last
Carcass.
overnight. You can last overnight, probably.
Sure.
Well, I wouldn't say a whole winter, but maybe a
Yeah,
night.
yeah, for sure.
Just get inside the carcass and that's it.
Yeah.
yeah. Once that
I mean,
carcass
that would be
cools down,
that would be prime TV.
The Man vs. Wild guy like did that. Like I don't know if you saw that, but like
I did
it was like
Oh,
some
yeah.
some crazy episode like where he effectively did the Luke Skywalker thing, where he cut where like
But he was already dead.
yeah, it
for
was
like a while.
Yeah, it was like already dead, but then he like kind of climbed inside of it and spent the night in it or something dumb.
That was probably for show.
Oh,
That
yeah.
sounds totally fake.
I mean,
No, he did it.
he was actually in it. I don't know if he
I don't.
needed
I'm not
to
saying
do
that he
it.
didn't get it in it. I'm just saying he probably didn't spend the night in it.
Yeah, who knows?
It's probably
You
some,
know,
some camera
what's
magic
funny?
there.
The beautiful thing about it is that it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get inside this carcass to survive, and then the whole camera crew is like filming him outside all night. It's like, you son of a bitch! Like you really didn't need to do this.
Yeah.
that would be great.
Yeah, that's what happened.
I know the camera crew was standing over him all night. It was like an hour, and they're like, "Oh, you can come out now," and then like go back in right before the dawn so we can shoot get
But
this
what was
nice
that-
shot.
But there was another episode where he's like, oh my god, like I found a great source of food. It's like bear shit. It's got berries, and I'm like, you're in the fucking jungle. Like, can you just find all the
Just
food?
find
that-
the
Where's the berries?
Just
He's like,
find the
yeah,
berries.
just find the berries. Like,
Find
Yeah, stop eating
pre-digested
shit.
berries.
You don't need the bear shit berries.
He totally showed in one of the episodes that like what to do if you fall in through the ice and like you're just outside and you have to like deal with it. Like he just went in all of his clothes and like stripped off all of his clothes and like made a fire and like dried himself and all the clothes out and stuff. So like that was kind of interesting. Like I guess these people do that too if they fall in the
Well, that's what they showed in the show.
yeah exactly.
Like girls' lay was in the water. Like, all right, let's take everything off. Let's put you
Yeah.
inside by the fire.
Yep.
Put some warm stuff on you,
Mm-hmm.
and then
But
we're
they
gonna go
did-
home tomorrow.
But they didn't cuddle though. I was expecting a lot more cuddling happening at that point.
you just wanted some sexy time, Chris.
obviously this is why I watch TV.
I don't know why
I
you.
watch
I don't know why
TV
you're
for
going
this.
into with expectations of Ice Lake Rebels, getting expectations from sexy
Well,
time.
we were gonna watch this. I'm like, can we watch something with hotter chicks in it? We still went with this one.
I feel that you were just waiting for like the.
So you want like sandbar rebels,
Yeah, I
just
do.
like topless college girls, like out in the sandbar, just getting crazy.
That sounds great.
Drinking margaritas.
Should we just watch some Girls Gone Wild next time? I feel like is that a reality show?
I think that's.
I think we could make it a reality show.
it seems like reality. It's kind of.
Is it reality?
I mean, some of the early ones are probably pretty real.
Probably
No,
more
but
so
you
than
know,
it
well,
is
actually,
now.
I just we should do that. And I kind of love the idea. I love the idea that hey, you know what? You're so drunk, but please go here and sign this legal document saying that you're not going to sue me. And it's okay. It's okay. You're
It
intoxicated.
is okay because you got yourself drunk. They didn't get you drunk. That's how it works.
Let me wave this paper on you. Sign it. Don't worry about it. No one's gonna see this video.
That'd be. I feel like that'd be a really short podcast if we did Girls Gone Wild. It's like I don't know, a bunch of girls flash their boobs for like an hour. I think they were on spring break. I'm not sure.
They were in New Orleans. It's fine.
Yeah.
So where does this fit in like the tiers of like reality shows? Is this the best reality show?
No, it's not. No, not at all.
I feel like this is like a middle, like higher middle tier. Like it's I think it's very watchable, unlike a lot of the shows we watch.
It's definitely in the bottom half for me. Like I don't think I would see myself really watching more episodes of it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if you have the greatest taste of reality shows. So.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Oh yeah.
Quick judgments over
From
there.
the guy who didn't like 90 Day Fiance.
Wait, what?
Oh, have you seen 90 Day
No,
Fiance?
I'm not an expert on these
Oh my
matters.
god. It's a show on TLC, and effectively there is a specific kind of a visa that if you're planning on getting married to someone, then your fiance can come to the US for 90 days in order to get married. So the entire premise of the show is like these people have these long distance relationships with people in other countries, and they bring them to the US for 90 days to figure out if they want to get married. And if they don't get married within the 90 days,
Go
then they
home.
get deported. That's the show.
Yep.
It's a great show.
That is awesome.
but it is on TLC.
It is on TLC, but it's still great.
You haven't seen that? You should,
No, but I think this is. I'm gonna have to catch up to this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can watch it, and there's a podcast on it.
Yeah, you can listen to the podcast.
Yeah, so for me, this show is definitely, maybe 2 out of 4-ish. it's like below the half, but not in the bottom third. But
I think thirds is the correct way of
Yeah, I don't
dealing with
know.
these shows.
But I kind of feel like
it's on the border for me.
we may have to just get back mid-season, like he said, just to see what happened. Once the ice is already settled and all that stuff, and there's really nothing else to do because there's no more action, I guess, if you want to call it that. Just to see what they do.
Do you think they're swingers?
Maybe
Some of them, probably.
I'm pretty sure.
There's there's 30 houseboats, and there's just
Let's just play houseboat roulette tonight.
Spin the houseboat.
So the other thing too is I think that even in the winter, they're not just in the houseboat the whole time. I think they commute to the town and go to the bars and that kind of stuff.
Oh,
too.
really?
Pretty sure.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
one dude was like, yeah, I was talking to guys at the bar, blah blah blah. I think that's they do live somewhat of they're not just house dwellers, right?
But you know what the best part of that is? It's whenever they get out at 3 a.m. and that is shit face and they gotta walk on that thin ice all the way
Oh
back
man,
home.
could you imagine trying to get home? Jesus.
well, there's what there's
Maybe that's
probably-
what the show is. These guys go to a bar, get drunk, and it's just them trying to get home.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I'd
that'd be
watch that
amazing.
show.
Yeah, right.
I mean, there's 2 months that's really dangerous here, when the ice is freezing over and then thawing, when you can't go anywhere. So the rest of the months they're just going out hunting and fishing and doing what they would normally do, even if they lived in the town, I'd imagine.
Well, I thought they said it was frozen over for 7 months.
Yeah, that's what
It is, yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's the month for it to freeze,
Right.
and there's a month for it to thaw.
Yeah, so 5 months of
solid ice.
hardcore
right.
winter.
Yeah, for sure. But, I mean, yeah, they can, drill a hole in the ice, fish in the lake. They can, I don't know, drink a lot. I have no idea.
Don't know.
It's
Anyways.
why we got to see, a
Okay.
later
You
episode.
see that? Yeah, I think mid-season we may be in for a surprise.
I don't know. I don't think I could watch another episode.
For me, if I was flipping through the channels and this was on, I would be like, oh, okay, let me see what's going on with the show now.
Yeah, I don't know that I would go out of my way.
Right. But if you stumbled upon
Sure, sure.
it, you wouldn't. You'd be like, oh, let me
Let's
see.
say I was
what's
at
going on with these
work
crazy
and this
guys.
show was on TV.
But what if the price? What if Family Feud was on?
Yeah, I'm watching Family Feud every time.
Honestly, yeah, gotta go.
All right. Anyone watching anything else? We wrap this up or what?
I saw the premiere of Game of Thrones last week.
You
What?
son of a...
What?
Get out of here!
Is that already out?
It is
No,
not-
you can't
What
talk
do you
about
mean?
it.
I'm not going to talk about it.
Oh,
You
because
can't.
you got special access to special things.
He's
Special access,
Special
special
pants over
things,
there.
special pants.
Damn it. Super jealous. But I
good.
am really excited for the new season to start up.
I think I can wait. It's Sunday.
It's Sunday. It's
Sunday,
good.
Sunday,
And
Sunday.
it sets up all the storylines for the season like you'd expect.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
Oh my
whoa,
God.
whoa,
Not
whoa.
my
mention
God.
anymore.
Oh my god.
You see now, but I don't know, man. I don't think I can do this. I gotta wait a week to watch each episode. So I just got into Game of Thrones I think it was last November,
Okay.
and I just watched them back to back from the first
Super
season until-
binge. Yep.
and I was just fucking I was just hooked on this.
Mhm.
So I don't know if I can actually wait.
It's an
too
adjustment.
It's
I'll tell
definitely
you.
a different way.
It's
But
too much. I can't
I've
remember if I can-
been watching it week to week since it started. So
Oh man,
Yeah, I think I watched. This is season 4, season 5.
this is 5.
5.
Is
Yeah,
it
it's
5?
it's
Okay.
5.
So I think 4 was the first season I started watching as it was happening. The first 3 I had the luxury of binge watching, which was really enjoyable. I think I prefer that method, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
But at this point, I'm in too deep and too excited, and I can't wait.
Yeah.
I definitely started binge watching season 4 again,
Mm-hmm.
and it is a better experience. I agree because like you kind of like the storylines like come together and like you see more cohesive versus the week to week.
I mean,
And they don't have massive recaps and things either, right?
No,
so
yeah.
it kind of flows pretty nicely
No,
for
it
binge.
flows really
like,
nicely.
one thing that it blew my mind when they had like the red wedding.
Yeah,
It's like there is no fucking way I could have watched that and be like, I gotta wait another week for what's next. I mean, there's no fucking way I can go on with my life. I mean, I will just not be productive. I'll be like depressed for a week.
Yeah.
You know, like regretting.
well, at
everything
least
I've
there
done
was
so far.
another episode after that. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
like yeah, that's the thing you could end a season with, and you're like, "Fuck you."
No, that was
Yeah.
just like what
Well,
just happened here?
I watched the first season, and then I'm like, "Well, now I'm gonna read the books," and I read like all 5 books like right after that. So
Yeah, I've heard the books are really good, although somewhat different from the series. There's like some
there's
variations
definitely
here and there.
differences. I mean, you can't have everything.
But
Yeah.
it's like pretty similar overall, though, right?
But I mean, it's not like different
the first 3
storylines. It's
books.
just
No,
like,
no.
It's just like more like
the
things,
first
right?
book is exactly like the first season. Like it's pretty much the same thing. They kind of deviate after that because the book meanders more. The first 3 books are pretty much similar to what the show is, at least.
So I heard that pretty soon they're going to actually catch up to everything that's written in books, right?
They have for some of the characters.
Okay.
So, like, some of the characters, they're definitely going to be, like, if Bran is in the season, which I'm imagining he is, they're caught up to where he is in the books. So, like...
Or maybe they take a season break from Bran until...
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he's in the season or not. But there's other people that are close to where there's, like, are at the end. And there's other people that aren't even close. So, like, I don't know.
Interesting.
Now,
Okay.
like we were discussing this early on, I haven't read the books, but I have the feeling that, so there's 2 dragons that are caged, and there's one that is free, and I will bet my money that kid, the one that I can't remember the names, but the kid that is paralyzed,
Bran.
Bran, yeah.
that can control animals. I bet you he's gonna control that fucking dragon and just kill people. I'm just waiting for that.
Start
Just
just
waiting
murking
for that.
Just
people.
waiting for some dragon murder.
Oh hell yeah!
So some sort of How I Train Your Dragon meets Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
Pretty much.
only 3 seasons left of the show. We're over the halfway point of the show. So there has to be... They have to be leaning towards
that's
something.
what's written, or what's
No.
planned to be written, or
No,
So there's 2
HBO
more
says
books,
there's...
right?
Well, HBO says they're doing 7 seasons.
and like hard cutting at that.
That's what the showrunners want, and that's what they said they were going to be doing. Now there's 2 more books, maybe more, depending on how George R. R. Martin feels like he wants to write.
And the showrunners know how it ends.
They
Right.
said that they know how it ends, yes.
So just in case something happens, they can still wrap it up in a good way.
Well, they're going to wrap it up. And I don't know if it's going to be like... It's definitely going to have to diverge because they don't have all the details that they've had.
But
like,
but
previously.
I feel that this is one of those shows that you can have easily a spin-off. Like something could, I don't know, maybe it will be shitty, but I feel that you can like go bananas on this storyline. Right?
You
Yeah.
just pick any one character. Like,
Exactly.
all right,
You
let's.
just
I mean,
keep
he's
on
already written like prequels and stuff, so like
Right.
they could obviously they could have.
they're
prequel
probably gonna go
seasons.
that route. I mean, come on.
I don't know. I don't know how it ends.
It
Who
happened,
knows how it
it
ends?
happened to the Lord of the Rings, and everyone's was like, "Oh fuck, another 9 hours of this shit."
Well, they're doing it with Harry Potter too.
Oh, really? Is it gonna happen now?
Yeah, there's a
there's
prequel
prequel?
series.
Really?
Oh god, I mean, come on.
Based off of like one of the books in the fucking book. I don't know.
Oh, shit. Okay, the first one.
But it's not based off a book though. The Harry Potter thing isn't based off a book. They're just making a new trilogy based on some and she's writing like the screenplay.
But so is it like Harry Potter kind of characters that you know about, or is it other
No.
stuff?
No, it's like it's supposed to be there's like a book that he like uses for a class at some point, like magical creatures or some bullshit that
Yeah.
somebody wrote, and it's like him like writing a book or something. I don't know.
Okay, so one movie, two, maybe three, a little bit pushing it. But
Yeah,
like,
I don't
mean,
know. I actually don't remember if it's a trilogy or not, but I think it is.
I don't know how many movies later. 7. I mean, we really need like,
8.
come
There
on.
was 8 movies already.
Yeah.
Oh god.
So I'm curious on series, like specifically primetime series, right? Or not primetime, but premium, like HBO, Showtime, etc.
Yeah.
So do they normally set out that says I'm going to shoot this for 6 seasons,
No.
or is it sort of undetermined? They shoot like a pilot season.
Yeah,
Pilot season.
Yeah,
Right.
it's usually dependent on how successful it is at the beginning.
Yeah, I mean,
Do they do pilot episodes
Yeah.
generally? They
Oh,
do.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure about HBO and Netflix's process with pilots. Like, I don't know how they handle
Right.
it, but networks definitely do pilots.
I know networks, but like for HBO,
Networks,
for
yes.
example, I don't know that I've ever seen like just one show and then that's the end of it.
they wouldn't show it. They don't show it. Amazon's
they
the
do
only one.
pilot
So-
seasons.
Amazon is the only one that shows pilots. No one else shows any pilots.
Yeah, so sometimes
What do
they
you mean? No, like they have the pilot and then like a couple of more episodes on the road, and if it doesn't pick up, that's it.
No. So they have a pilot season, like where they pay for pilots and they get them back and they pick a couple up. Like if they don't pick it up, no one sees that pilot.
yeah.
Mm.
So
Let's see.
so also sometimes like the quality of the pilot that they've like put out there to like see if the concept is good isn't high enough, so they have to like reshoot that for the actual season. But sometimes it's good enough, and they just use the pilot for the first episode of the show. So
Most
for like Lost, like that pilot was really fucking expensive to make, and like they
That
used it
was
for the show.
insane. Like I mean, that
Yeah.
first,
I mean,
Yeah.
Did you guys still remember that first episode? Of
Yeah, it's
Also
insane.
good.
Yeah.
I was just like, wow, what just happened? Like I mean, J.J.
Yeah.
Abrams is just like,
All the
Yeah.
stops got pulled
I
out
like-
on that one.
I like recently saw some figures. I can't remember how like on how much that pilot cost to shoot, and it was insane. It was like.
I can't believe ABC would give that much money for a pilot, though.
Yeah, and when they went and pitched the show to ABC, they pitched it with an outline, not even a whole script, and they funded it. It's crazy.
That is pretty crazy. I feel like that's the motive of the show, though. Like, I'm gonna give you an outline, and then we'll just go with it.
Yeah.
we play along.
We'll-
We're just gonna
we'll-
fly by the seat of your pants.
You
Don't
know,
worry about the story.
that's also another great show to just sit down for a couple of days and just watch.
Oh, that's totally what happened.
Yeah,
When I first
That's what I
watched
did.
Lost, it was on like DVD at the time, and watched for something like, well, that's a weekend later. I'd watched like the first 2 seasons, right? that's totally how
that
that went.
7th season was such bullshit, though.
Oh, it really went
That
off the
was-
rails. Spoiler: the seasons go real downhill.
that was probably my first, like maybe one of my first real binge watch shows. I think I watched like the first 2 or 3 seasons of Lost, like in a week or two. I think it was crazy.
Well, I think I actually borrowed your like Lost season 1.
Yeah.
And then I got to the end. I just immediately ordered season 2 on DVD on Amazon. I'm just like, I have to watch this right now.
Totally.
That was one of the first shows that me and my girlfriend back then, Megan, now my wife. And she's not a movie person. Like I fucking love movies. Like I can watch whatever and just have a good time. She's just really hard. And we sat down and we're like, what the fuck just happened? Like this show just blew our minds.
Yeah.
And we just fucking kept on watching that. I mean, we couldn't stop. It was beautiful.
I definitely binge watched like a season, I think, and then started watching week to week, and I stopped because it's just not that great, and then binge watched it again and
Oh,
caught
man.
back up because it's much better binge watching than regular.
The other one I did, I was watching the seasons back to back, was Archer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, fuck, every weekend or whatever, I just catch up to them. That show is fucking sick.
That's a great show.
the finale this year was great. I loved that. That was so good.
I haven't seen it yet.
You gotta watch that. It was
I,
a solid episode.
I just started watching The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, Tina Fey's new show.
Yeah, I
Have you seen
haven't
that at
watched
all?
it.
Yeah, was it good?
Yeah, so I watched the first episode last night. It's pretty good so far.
Nice.
I think it's
I
pretty
have
funny.
way too many shows that I need to catch up on. I'm still trying to catch
Yeah.
one House of Cards. So,
Oh, you haven't
that's
finished House of
all-
Cards
no,
yet?
that's
Okay,
the
so
thing.
Oh.
I know
which
that's the thing.
which season are you on?
The current one that was just released.
Season 3.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know. Like, I'm not gonna give away much, but
Just don't. I'm super paranoid about all these sorts of things.
House of Cards is a very interesting show.
Yeah, it's great.
but
I don't think it
what do you think about in one word? What do you think about the third season?
One word.
one word. That's I'm in theater class or something. What's going on?
Is that the first thing that comes to mind? Theater
I'm
class?
I don't know.
What the fuck?
If you had one word to describe all of your emotions,
Sadness.
Pedantic.
yeah, I don't know.
Sadness.
We should not go down this
For
road. 'cause
me-
it's gonna spoil something for sure.
It's all right. So it's not spoilery, but here's my point of view on the third season. Like, I think it's interesting because, sort of like for the first time in the series, like Frank actually faces some real like opposition that he can't just easily like dominate, and like that, like just seeing him in that situation, I think is interesting. You know, that's yeah. Without spoiling too much more.
Yep, fair.
I thought that there would be more stuff happening in that season, but yeah, like I expected. Like the show is called House of Cards, and we're still in the setup phase of this house, which I thought by the third season we might be coming towards some sort of end when you make a House of
When you
Cards.
win the game of House of Cards.
when you win the game,
When the House of Cards collapses,
yeah.
Do you get a full house or how does that?
nope, a full House of Cards.
Oh man, where's the shitty joke sound effect? I feel like that was a.
You need a car crash sound effect.
Really got to get a soundboard for this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I've been watching too much other than Furious 7.
He's watching that.
I've
Just
definitely
over and
been
over
watching
again.
and reading like everything I can. On
Really?
This movie. Oh yeah.
150 million one weekend. It's crazy.
What do you mean, really,
It's
really
ninth.
everything? That
Ninth all time.
It made like
What?
Yeah. It's only behind Spider-Man 3 and then 7 other movies, obviously, because that's what I can't name. I mean, Dark Knight
Well-
Rises above it.
Avengers,
There's a few other
probably.
Avengers is number one.
Oh,
one of the
wow.
Harry Potters.
Yeah.
Probably.
And I
Yeah.
think it's just opening weekend.
Yeah.
Gross.
It made like 40 something percent more than opening weekend of Fast 6, which is
Yeah.
out of control. Like
Yeah.
that's so much.
Yeah. We got to go see it again this week.
I'm like that movie's
by
gonna
the
make.
way.
I mean, the movie's gonna make $1 billion.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna make $1 billion. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
Is this our
Sorry,
Furious segment again?
Sorry, we already dedicated an entire podcast
all
to
right,
it
now
last week.
I actually have been rewatching some of the Marvel movies because the new Avengers is coming up. So
Oh,
I watched Iron Man and Captain America and Thor, which are really good. Like
How's Thor?
I always like the first Thor.
Okay, so I really like the character of Thor, but I've never seen the movie.
You've never seen the
No,
Thor
well,
movie?
so the whole Avengers thing is really like turned me off to a lot of that franchise.
What?
The last Avengers movie I did not like, which
You
I know is a
didn't like
shock.
the Avengers?
I know you're gonna. Yell
I think
at
we
me.
have to kick people off this podcast. Is that something we can
It's
do
just,
over this?
You know, the Flying Fortress thing. I'm just like I want to walk out of the theater.
Well,
right
because
now.
you didn't watch the pre. You have to warm up to that. You can't just walk into the Avengers.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen Iron Man.
There are a lot of people who just walked into the Avengers.
Right.
Well, you can, but if you're gonna yell about a fortress in
the
the sky,
goddamn Flying. I'm like I can't even. I
that
can't deal
they
with
like
this shit.
build up into that. You
I
realize
just
that they're superheroes. What's the big deal about having a flying fortress?
There's just too much of like it. Like it's just, you had to calm it
What
down.
do you mean?
This is too much.
You
I
want
didn't-
something smaller than watch like the Thor movie or something.
Right,
I don't,
like,
like
it's just-
the other movies are a lot less.
I felt like it was
in
like
scope.
like Ocean's 14 trying to all come together with all these ridiculous things. It was just too much.
You need to get out of here.
It's fine. James is objectively wrong here.
Oh no, I mean I'm willing to take the bull on this one. I know I'm going to take some heat for it.
Right,
I'm
right.
just stating my stance.
Okay. Well, we'll see what Avengers are. So, are you going to go see Avengers 2?
No.
Not going to see Avengers 2.
Definitely
Okay.
not.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, I don't know about that.
oh
I will be the first
No,
one.
I
in
don't
line.
know. I know. Okay, so the guy with the fucking bow and arrow. I mean, come on, like
Yeah,
we have like guns and lasers, and like he's got an arrow. I mean, for real, like
And you can put explosives on the end of the arrow.
but
there's no fucking way. Like, I mean, he's
I don't
gonna.
know. I like
mean-
Iron Man. I'll be honest with you. I like Iron Man because he's just a badass.
I mean,
And he's a billionaire. Everybody wants to live like a billionaire.
I mean,
the
it's-
opposite of this show, by the way, is
the
Iron
reason-
Man.
So the reason you like Iron Man is because it's like if Entourage was a superhero show. That's
Yeah.
why you like Iron Man.
Oh, totally.
Okay.
Who wouldn't like that?
Bro, no, right. Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just like, you know what? Like, I got billions, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna hang out.
Like
and,
I'm real
build
smart at
shit.
tech shit. I can make whatever I want. Like,
I'm just
Yeah.
gonna make this iron suit
yeah, I'm
that
just
I wear.
engineer whatever.
and fight terrorists.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
That first movie is amazing.
Oh yeah. I mean, the first one's
Yeah.
definitely the best by far.
Like you can't really. It hasn't really been topped. I don't think.
Well, I mean, talk about first movies. I mean, the latest Batman, right, by Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, yeah.
That first, I mean,
The Dark
first-
Knight series.
Fuck,
So you like the first one the best?
I think it's one of my favorites. yeah.
Interesting.
But I gotta say, I mean, the acting on what's this guy?
Dark Knight or
That
Rises?
guy,
No.
Joker.
Keith Ledger.
Heath
Yeah,
Ledger,
I mean,
yeah.
that was some amazing acting.
Yeah.
You got. I mean, that's the best
I mean,
Joker
the
ever.
second movie works, but because the first movie was good.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Like
I
the
actually
first movie
yeah.
sets Batman up in order to like set up like that movie. Like
For sure.
I just love the whole. He was in this movie compared to any other like renditions that we've had in the years. He was human. It's like he got beat up, he got fucked up, he got like bruised. He
wa-
actually
he was insane. Yes.
He was insane. He wasn't cartoonish, right? Which
Yeah.
I really and there was a really dark side to him. That's the beauty of that movie.
I mean, that's the beauty of Batman. Like Batman can be the dark, gritty guy. Superman, not so dark and gritty. See how well that movie did?
But I would love to see a dark, gritty Superman movie.
You can't do it.
Why not?
I think
They
maybe.
tried. Did you see
Yeah.
it?
I think-
No, yeah, the movie's terrible. But like,
I don't know if it was terrible. It wasn't
but-
very good.
But it was terrible. But that was not the reason why it was terrible.
Well, I mean, they did let Zack Snyder direct it.
They let Zack
so-
Snyder direct it, and the
Oh.
last 40 minutes of the movie was a terrible fight scene. That's what was wrong with that movie.
Was that the one where they just kept flying through buildings?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was real bad.
Yeah.
That was the only part of that movie I saw.
I just don't think that the actor was like likable at all. It was just like like
Yeah, I guess there was probably a lot of things wrong with that movie. I think Zack Snyder was probably the number one reason why that movie didn't do well, but I don't know. It's just a dark and gritty Superman just doesn't work. Like
well, you just
he's
haven't
like
seen it.
he's like
It could have been.
optimistic.
I mean, you could have seen the same thing like about Batman before.
yeah, but
Christopher
the comics
Nolan
for
hit it.
Batman, like in the '80s, where like Frank Miller like pretty much invented the dark gritty Batman.
Sure.
There's no no one invented the dark and gritty Superman.
Yeah. I just think,
So
my
there's-
opinion of like Batman versus Superman is the enemies are far better in Batman,
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
because
far more interesting.
oh yeah.
because Superman could just fucking murder anyone super easily. Like it's like not even it's like
Webb.
They have to be like superhuman
Right.
and like out of control to like be a villain of Superman. Like
The thing
that's
about
why it just doesn't work.
the interesting thing about all the villains for in the Batman world is that they all have a really dark past. They're all like fucked up in some way, and it's not like something recent or I'm just gonna be crazy out of nonsense. It's just like it's building up. The characters that I feel that are well developed, and it's just they reach a tipping point where there's just no way of they're gonna come back from whatever they have, and it's just like mayhem from that point on.
Mm. Oh no, I mean, yeah, they're the best villains. I don't know, like Scarecrow just continues to blow my mind.
I
every
actually
time.
think Spider-Man villains are the best villains, but like
Come on.
the movies aren't good. So like
It's
I'm
like-
like
It's like, oh my god, I got radiation. Now I'm bad. I mean, like.
no, the Spider-Man movies are not they're not good. I'm not basing them off the movies. Okay. Like I love Spider-Man as a kid and I like
Right.
the Spider-Man villains, but I don't really like the movies that much comparatively to the other especially some more recent superhero movies. All right, so we got to wrap this up.
and
Sure.
that was the movie segment.
No, I'm
In
not
our
sure.
reality TV show podcast, that was our movie segment.
Well, I mean, if you watch something else, did you watch anything else?
I didn't know.
All right, Harrison, you got any plugs?
You can follow me on Twitter at Harrison Hoffman.
James,
You can find me on Twitter at KaneJ3.
Jose,
Do not try to find me on Twitter.
Or else we'll bring out the spam and guns.
you can find me on Twitter at the Chris Lorenz. You can find us on Twitter at Who Put This On, And you can, and facebook.com/who put this on. You can email us at whoputthison@gmail.com. Until next week, bye.